Hello, hello. I'm Camden Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. We are seeing a fading severe weather threat tonight. Radar is showing the bulk of strong to severe potential activity under the kind of southern Maryland and the northern neck of Virginia. So we are happy to say it is a waning severe weather threat tonight, and there is still a reason just to be cautious through 10 p.m. A tornado watch is in effect, along with a flood watch until 10 p.m. for heavy or flooding downpours. So we will be careful to monitor radar just a little bit longer. But again, things are beginning to calm down. And the green outlines here below in the radar animation, we do have a couple flood warnings in Western Virginia and Southern Virginia as well. So we'll continue to watch the northern neck of Virginia and Southern Maryland for this tornado watch, which will expire at 10 p.m., if not a little before. And our flood watch at 10 p.m. also expires, if not a bit before. Ruth Lisa, hello. Joyo and VT Zoo and KM and Sess and Vicky, thanks so much for tuning in. And SK Hanshin and Priscilla and RGBZ. Appreciate seeing all of you on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, X, and at CWG.live. Anytime you need us, we're there 24/7. An animation of the precipitation expected this week. It's kind of front loaded. We get a break kind of in the later part of the week when it turns hot. Notice we could see 90 degrees again on Thursday. And then the weekend, unfortunately, while low confidence does lean pretty wet if a front does stall near or over the region this upcoming weekend. So I'm sorry to say, low confidence things could change, but generally we're leaning wet for the weekend. And the severe weather threat is not completely gone for Monday, Tuesday, maybe even a quick strong storm on Wednesday, but that's unlikely. Let's generally say the highest chance for rain, while lower than today, is probably Monday evening through to Tuesday morning. So we can't, even though with lower rain overall, we can't rule out a couple severe storms here or there, and even some flooding downpours on Tuesday are also possible. And rainfall amounts are pretty healthy. Again, half of this of the next 7 days, pictured below, falls through Tuesday, and then the next half falls probably Friday into the weekend. So we'll keep you posted at cwg.live at the Capital Weather Gang as we get closer to this weekend as well. And sun is a little bit hard to come by until we warm the temperatures up later this week. Sun and heat are kind of going to go together in this pattern. So we'll keep you posted as the heat and the sunshine return. The pattern shifts into a more summery pattern briefly as high pressure builds in for the mid and late part of this week. And we have yet to see our first 90-degree day. Typically, our average year to date number of days where we see 90 degrees or hotter for our high temperatures, we normally have 4 by this time of year. And so far, still 0. We came close, but no cigar this last week. Humidity might hold back, but Friday, I do think maybe near 70-degree dew point, which is in that sticky, unpleasant category. So dew points combining with the air temperature means our heat index, the way our body perceives the temperature, could be a little bit hotter than the air temperature because our sweat is not able to evaporate. So we have just a little bit extra heat stress on our bodies on Friday, potentially heat index values in the mid 90s. Smoke can't rule out some haze moving behind our cold front on Tuesday. We'll keep you posted. So far, indications are it stays at higher altitudes away from the surface, not compromising our surface air quality just yet, but we could see some haze. Don't be surprised. And quick allergy update, as you saw in my PM update yesterday at cwg.live. We're watching mold and grasses. Typically, as they start going up this time of year, they are verifying in generally in the moderate range. So hopefully you're doing okay like I am this time of year as I cough into the and clear myself from some allergies myself. And then looking ahead, temperatures leaning above average for next work week. But I think it's going to take a little while, maybe mid to late week, before we really kick out the clouds and rain chances. So we'll see how this plays out. And precipitation indicating this front that's coming at the end of this week into the weekend could stick around into at least early next week. So precipitation leaning above average for next work week, and that's great news for the drought, which has been nearly eviscerated. Drought conditions are doing much better. So there we go. Let's take your questions and comments as we watch radar and the severe weather threat fade this evening. Tornado watch, yes, is in effect until 10 p.m. Flood watch in effect until 10 p.m. But we're seeing fewer concerns, mainly focused right now in the northern neck of Virginia, and Southern Maryland. Evan, thanks for tuning in on YouTube. Aaron, indeed, thanks for tuning in on X. Feeling a little bit like Seattle. I love that. We've got Dave, thanks for tuning in. April, no more field days. You made it to the last week of school. Very good. Hi there, Deidre. Good to see you. And Rick, glad you had thunderstorms, but nothing severe there in Fairfax. Amber, thanks for tuning in on YouTube. And Ruth Lisa, some storms there in Springfield. Jake, thanks for tuning in. And Brandon, next Saturday evening could be humid and cool for the weather, Brandon. So stay tuned. It's a low confidence forecast looking at next weekend, but leaning wetter than not. And let's say temperatures near or just below 80 degrees is the best I can give you, but lots of time for things to change and the temperatures and precipitation department. But the best scenario to offer, the most likely scenario right now, is a little humid, little cool, not too warm, and wetter than not for next Saturday evening. Deidre, happy to review the drought situation again in a moment, but headline is much better and appreciating cooler temps and the rain as well. Charlene, excellent to hear from you there in Pennsylvania. And Ruth Lisa, we so far are not seeing a major heat wave build, which is good news if you don't like the heat. And Paul, Father's Day is looking a little wet and a little cool as it stands now, but time for things to change next Sunday. Like the rain, hate the storms. Fertile Crescent on X, indeed. And Brian, hello in Baltimore. And Dave, patchy fog is indeed possible through mid morning tomorrow morning. And more rain, please, from Hassas on X. Indeed, I'll see if I can give that to you through Tuesday. We still have some rain chances, and even tonight, some rain chances continue for parts of the region. Amy, thanks for tuning in. Hannah and Weather Dude, can't believe we start losing daylight in 2 weeks' time. Yes, indeed, what the summer solstice does slowly approach. And JM Pickerel is okay without 90 degrees, but I'm sorry to say it might happen by Thursday this week. We have another chance, even though our heat projector here, heat tracker, shows no days yet this year. Average is 4 for this point in the summer of 90 degrees or hotter for high temperatures, but so far 0. Brandon, you're most welcome. Thanks for tuning in. And I think I've caught up on our Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and X questions. Misha, the rain come on Saturday. There are rain chances on Saturday, decent rain chances, I'm sorry to say. And Chi and JP and Morgan, thanks again for tuning in. All right, radar is fading with severe weather threats fading this evening. Even though we do have a tornado watch until 10 and a flood watch until 10, we are encouraged by radar and the latest available potential energy in the atmosphere. It is fading as we get closer into the midnight hour, even closer to 10 p.m. We are happy to say the severe weather threat is lowering and the flooding threat is lowering. So that is good news. Just keep an eye out if you're in the northern neck of Virginia and southern Maryland just a little bit longer. For this week overall, precipitation kind of front loaded at the beginning of the week and then a small break until the end of the week into the weekend when the next rain chance batch arrives. And we'll watch it for you. It involves briefly seeing some high pressure build in, some heat and sunshine. Let me show you how clouds hang around for much of the week into maybe Wednesday. But Wednesday brightens a little bit, Thursday especially, and Friday even has a little bit of sun as storms and rain chances kind of start moving back in the region. Rainfall amounts are pretty darn healthy over the next 7 days. Half of this falls through Tuesday, the next half falls Friday through the weekend. And yes, if you are wondering, it does kind of lean toward a wetter than not weekend. Time for things, details to change, but we'll see. Severe weather can't be completely ruled out. Monday and maybe even into Tuesday, rain chances are lower, but of the fewer rain aspects that develop of showers and storms, we still could see an outsized number, 2 or 3 strong storms roaming the region Tuesday, Monday, especially, and then maybe 1 or 2 on Tuesday could have some heavy flooding downpours perhaps into Tuesday. So a slow fade on the severe weather, not only tonight, but into early of this week. And again, rainfall amounts are healthy this week, plenty of rain to go around. And we, I think, had Deidre asking about the drought situation. We are doing much better. It has really improved in the last 7 days, 14 days. Steve, thanks for tuning in from Culpeper. And Donna, really good to hear from you. And Anchor and R. Miller. Full moon on Wednesday has a decent bet, R. Miller photo. And Pewee fan, let's see, some humidity, some heat, but a decent weather week. I'd argue at least we have, a, fading severe weather threat early week, and the heat comes with some sunshine in the middle part of this week. All right, let's just quickly touch on if you're interested in the tropics, still quiet. Even this map from last week, I checked, the latest map still applies. Quiet in the tropical Atlantic. I think still two tropical systems in the Eastern Pacific that are way out to sea. We are expecting hurricane season to eventually ramp up. We do see a forecast that kind of has a higher number of named storms expected. First named storm, whenever a system does develop, none on the radar just yet, but Andrea would be the first name for the hurricane season year in the tropical Atlantic. Pollen is doing its thing for molds, spores, and for grasses, getting higher this time of year in both categories. Those are kind of the two things going right now. Trees are slowly fading, though occasionally moderate at times. And I did a full update yesterday at cwg.live. Temperatures into next week are leaning above average, though I think it's going to take some time to get warmer temperatures in here after some early, maybe midweek rain chances. So we'll keep you posted on that. And again, leaning wetter than not for next work week as well, which is great news. The drought is almost history, except for northern, just north of Baltimore. We're in much better shape overall. All right, let's animate this radar for you to highlight fading severe weather chances. This evening, the tornado watch does go through 10 p.m. and the flood watch through 10 p.m. But we are seeing things really improving in the region. Maybe northern neck, Virginia, southern Maryland is the last vestiges of severe weather potential for this evening and flooding downpours. But we will keep you posted, of course, at cwg.live if anything changes in that. JL and Jay and Mello and MS Schaefer, thanks for tuning in on Instagram. And we've got Love AJ and Lisa. Good to see you on Facebook. And glad, Charlene, your crops sound like they're doing pretty well. I appreciate you tuning in on Facebook as well. All right, let's make sure I'm connected to all four of our social media channels. Looks good on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and X. And we're also at the post, WashingtonPost.com or at cwg.live. Share that link with your friends and family. No paywall for that link, just so you know. HB Purcell, let's see. Right now, we are seeing the atmosphere generally giving a shorter notice in this pattern, but I think a zonal flow will briefly develop with the jet stream this week, so it should be a little more predictable. I hope that helps. It has been kind of a year of some cutoff lows and kinks in the jet stream. It has not been easy at times, which includes this upcoming weekend, which we lean toward being wetter than not, but low confidence overall. Things could still change. Hello, John Lewis. Thanks for tuning in. Harlem, no tornadoes seen just yet. I haven't seen any preliminary other reports just yet in the region in Bloomingdale. Thanks for tuning in, Matt M. And appreciate seeing you, Nancy, as well, and Jack Neal. All right, tornado watch is expiring at 10 o'clock, but activity is already waning. We are encouraged. Even the flood watch should be allowed to expire at 10 p.m. as well. Flooding downpours are limited now in the region. And here's an animation going forward. This work week shows we're front end loading the animation for the precipitation Monday, Tuesday, maybe a stray shower storm Wednesday, but maybe dry Thursday. That could be our driest day of the week. And then Friday into the weekend, another batch of rain chances come through, maybe lasting into early to midweek next week. We will keep you posted. Now, with lower rain chances comes a hard communication challenge for me. I have to tell you, we should see fewer raindrops in the region Monday, Tuesday, but there is still a chance for severe weather. So, of the activity that develops, we could still see an outsized number, two, three thunderstorms in the region turn strong to severe from Monday into Monday night. And then even, even on Tuesday, we could see some flooding downpours in the region, one or two. Nothing too much to worry about, but just letting you know that I don't want you surprised if we do see some things pop on radar and we're kind of letting you know alerts. There are a couple warnings in the region, perhaps Monday and Tuesday of this week as well. Ruth Lisa, thanks for tuning in. And Paul, you're most welcome. Appreciate you. And Jules and JB and Carl and Nancy, good to see you as well. I'm on the air another 5 minutes or so. Let me take a sip of water. Let me know if you have any questions on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, or X, or at cwg.live. I really appreciate seeing all of you every Sunday. This is our weekly Sunday Sunset Live Q&A chat. I'm Camden Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. And Lisa, I will see if I can get you 2 weeks of no rain to get painting done in your house. Let's wait for this next front to come through through the early to middle part of next week, and hopefully we can get a pattern locked in of higher pressure for you and more stable, sunnier weather. Dave, you have a great week as well. I appreciate seeing you. Pewee fan, appreciate that. You're most kind. Thanks for tuning in. And BM and KG and TD and my Soames and Robin and Smiles and TD and Nancio and Lisa, you're most welcome as well. All right, 7 day rain accumulation is healthy, somewhat hefty. We've got early part of this week, about half of this rainfall is going to come down. And then at the end of the week, kind of Friday into the weekend, we could see the last half of this 7 day rainfall total fall into the region. Clouds hang around for the early part of this week, but we do see things clearing out as temperatures increase toward the end of this week. Sun and heat kind of go together. High pressure is building in briefly near the end of the week, especially on Thursday. And we have yet to hit 90 degrees or hotter this time of year. Typically, we see 4, and so far 0. And we'll let you know if we hit 1 this week, maybe as early as Thursday. Humidity generally okay, but I think Friday heat index values could hit the mid 90s with some elevated humidity near 70-degree dew point, sticky, unpleasant on our emoji scale. And even some smoke comes in this week, potentially at high altitudes, adding some haze behind our cold front that moves through on Tuesday. Ali, I hope you get a dry Saturday, but we're leaning wetter than not, even there in Frederick County. So we'll keep you posted on that as we get toward the weekend. It is looking wetter than not. Let me put that precipitation animation up. We kind of have one batch of precipitation early this week, then another Friday into the weekend. Details still have time to change, but it's looking like temperatures want to go down as rain changes go up for this upcoming weekend. Uh, Not great news, but again, that while that's the best scenario, not all of the background simulations of the weather models agree with that one scenario. So there's time for things to change. That is, I'm trying to give you silver lining, even though we're leaning wet for this upcoming weekend. Things could change. Have a good week, as Ruth, Lisa, and Charlene. Good to see you, and Lois and Ocean City on Tuesday, Wednesday. I think you will have a decent time frame to get outside, maybe on the beach on Wednesday, especially. I'll lean Wednesday. And we've got Burn and Kardik and Skywalker. Beth, good to see you there on Instagram. All right. All right. So let's keep going into the very slight potential for severe weather, maybe gusty winds and some storms on Monday. A couple, 1 or 2 heavy downpours on Tuesday. Even though rain chances are lower, we still could see a fair amount of rainfall. Half of in the next 7 days, this is the forecast rain amount below here. Half could fall Monday and Tuesday, and then the next half could fall Friday into the weekend. So we'll keep you posted on what could be maybe a wet weekend. Clouds clear up. Hopefully, Thursday is the brightest day of the week if you're looking for some sunshine and potentially warm. Maybe our first 90-degree day of the year. And humidity kind of moves in maybe by Friday. Dew point maybe near 70, gets the air temperature combining with the humidity, and it could feel like mid 90s by Friday. And even, yes, a little bit of haze and high altitude smoke moves in maybe middle part of this week behind our cold front on Tuesday. That clears us out and starts moving in some high pressure, but the source of air is coming in from Canada, where there's plenty of wildfire smoke moving from northwest of us. It's going to kind of come in with the jet stream and the dominant flow in the atmosphere, moving southeast toward us in the mid-Atlantic. Let's see, grasses and mold is fairly moderate at times, so allergy sufferers, you're not alone. I'm feeling some of this as well, but nothing too terrible, and trees are starting to fade as they do for this time of year. Temperatures for looking ahead next work week, leaning above average, but I caution you, early to midweek could still be a little bit cloudy, a little bit cool, and maybe rainy if we can't get that cold front that's coming in for late this week into the weekend out of here into next week. Precipitation, as I indicate, leaning above average not only this upcoming weekend, but maybe into next work week as well. And the drought situation, not bad, almost vanquished. This has been quite an improvement in the last week or two, and no hurricane activity and tropical storm activity expected in the hurricane basin in the next 7 days. But the season overall, June 1 to November 30th, expected to be above average with a higher than usual number of named storms, tropical storms, and hurricanes in the Atlantic. First storm on the list would be Andrea, FYI. All right, that is about my time. I will check everything here for you as we're watching radar. Severe weather threat is fading. Tornado watch ends at 10 p.m. They might be allowed to expire a little bit before that, with the severe weather threat kind of moving out south and east into the out of the region. And the flood watch is also set to expire at 10 p.m., no later than 10 p.m. tonight. And maybe northern neck of Virginia, southern Maryland, just want to keep an eye on things a little bit longer, but we're happy with the trend at Capital Weather Gang at CWG.live. We're there 24/7. I'm Camden Walker. This is our weekly Sunday Sunset Live Q&A. Thanks for joining me for these weekly 20-minute chats. Crow, the Big Editor, and Katie and KG, thanks for tuning in on Instagram, on YouTube, Facebook, and X. We got Ruth, Elisa, Donna, and Deidre, and Charlene. I hope all of you have a very good week, a safe week. Slight severe weather chance on Skywalker, Beth, thank you. And a slight severe weather chance on, excuse me, let's see, Monday into Monday night. Maybe a quick downpour on Tuesday as well. So just keep that in mind. Lower rain chances early week, but we still have a little bit of a severe weather threat. One or two, three severe storms are possible in the early part of the week as well. All right, tornado watch set to expire at 10 p.m. and severe weather is quickly moving out ahead of this expiration at 10 p.m. so that we are in better and better shape. And I wish you all a safe week, and I will talk